So another little segment in this series trying to answer the question as to why matcha, why now, why the hell am I doing this? I thought, one of the obvious questions would be, why is a Aussie white guy doing a Japanese tea house? And it's, I think it's a legitimate question, and I think we wade into these crazy waters of cultural appropriation, and I think, if I'm completely honest, I think people would prefer this concept to be done by a Japanese lad or lass. But, to be blunt, the reason why I'm doing it is because there isn't a Japanese person here or, really anywhere else doing something like this. So that's why I'm doing it. But I think I think it's important to touch on this idea of cultural appropriation, because I think on paper it seems like a really sound standpoint, but I think once you flesh it out, you start to see the holes in the argument. It's like saying that Italians are the only ones allowed to make pasta, or you could even expand that to say, well, only the Chinese are allowed to make tea because that's where the tea leaves originated from. It's like saying only the English are allowed to play football. And I think football is a really good way of explaining what I'm doing here, and the advantages of cultural appropriation is that you see with football, every country plays the same game by the same rules in a slightly different way. You can sort of see the very defensive Italians, the flair of the South Americans, like the clinical precision of the Germans. They all have their own little take on it, and that's very much what we're trying to do. Certainly in the tea school that I'm a student of, it very much encourages individual expression. We're all rooted in the same principles, and we all learn the same way of doing things, but once we achieve a certain degree of proficiency in those skills, our teacher encourages us to then go and find our own way of expressing those principles, and that's what SAMU is about. Yes, it's absolutely rooted in Japanese tradition, but it's my take on those traditions, and that's why this white guy is doing a tea house.